thank you for the kind introduction. Happy STAMPtember. Let me just gush about you. Because of course, Simon Says Stamp, like the thing that I absolutely adore about Heidi and Simon is just the fact that from a creative industry, you guys know that are in the chat, thank you so much for showing the support to Heidi and Team Simon, because what's so amazing is how much creative contribution Simon Says Stamp does for our industry. STAMPtember is just one huge event that happens, but all year long, there's always something wonderful and unique that Simon brings to our industry. So thank you, Heidi and Team Simon, for always wanting to give back to our creative force. I think that's the most impactful thing ever. Is really you get what you give, right? You get what you give. All right.
I remember you saying that probably in 2014 when we did our first create event. You said you get what you give, and it really rang in my ears because not just from work and business and stamp and running an event, but in life with our kids and our families and our neighbors and our friends and our everybody. It really is true that you get what you give, and that's not why you give, but it is an interesting karma. I guess maybe a lot of people call that karma. So you've done a lot of teaching, and I really did a little, Tim doesn't know that I specifically was going to do all this, but I just thought that for our people who are joining us live today, that it could be some fun fact information while Tim is with us, and kind of fun to walk down memory lane with Tim if he's not too embarrassed to do so. But we've got products behind me and inspiration, and it's really a little bit about the story of Simon Says Stamp and Tim Holtz. So my dear friend Tara, who since the beginning of Simon Says Stamp, before we were even named Simon Says Stamp, Tara and I have been crafting together and making cards together and scrapbooks together, and we would go to the trade shows together when we were starting this business. And Stampers Anonymous had a booth, and they were giving away tote bags in their booth, and it was a Tim Holtz tote bag. I don't have the exact tote bag here, but behind me you can see I've got some blast from the past tote bags. And so Stampers Anonymous recognized they had a contest at the show. If you were walking around with one of their tote bags, you would go to their booth and you would receive free stamps. And so they recognized Tara walking around with the tote bag. Tara is here in this picture with me. She's been a big part of our journey through the years. And Tara got stamps that were Tim Holtz stamps, and we were so excited. Tim was demonstrating at the Ranger booth that year, and we decided right then and there, I remember where we were when we had that conversation, we need to have everything that this guy is doing because we love it. So we quickly went to the Ranger booth, and everything Tim was touching and talking about, we were listening with a really keen eye. And I think that not just for, it really just sparked something in us that has kept us motivated to do this through the years. Now, Tara took a leave for a few years. She had 4 kids in 4 years. And as you all know, Simon Says Stamp has been around 20 years. And Tim, how long have you been in this industry? Have we been able to pinpoint 20-ish?
Like 17-ish years. So 2004 is when I started in the industry.
Okay.
That's when Distress launched, 2004.
Okay.
A while.
And stamps probably shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
It's funny because I have all these pictures around me and all these things, and I was telling Tim before we went live, I wish I would have written dates on these things. See the wall hanging? That's Tim came to our offices here at Simon Says Stamp in Columbus, Ohio, and taught a class for our employees, which we believe very strongly in employee education, and Tim has helped us make that happen for many years. And then you see behind me, those are my personal favorite stamps from my craft room at home that I've been collecting. And then the projects are all projects that I've made during any of Tim's classes or in my own craft room. The one that's most dear to my heart is the ribbon spool back here. Tim, do you remember recently when, in the last year, Tammy B posted that to you for one of your lives?
Yeah. And you loved it.
I
loved
loved
it so much that you had to get it. You had to make it. You were going to scour everything until you could do it.
So I did. I went and bought spools and got in my craft room and got busy and created my own. Now, Tammy B's is much better. Tammy is one of Tim's makers. If you go to Tim's blog, timholtz.com, or his website, really, timholtz.com, he has a section for makers. And he showcases a lot of his makers' work during his lives. Tim, do you want to talk a little bit about when you go live and what you talk about when you're live?
Sure. First, I'll just talk about the makers, because the makers are magic. And when we say the makers, yes, there are the makers that make for the lives who, as many of you know that watch the lives, we've been doing lives every Saturday on YouTube. Well, we kind of started last year where we did a lot of demos, and then this year has really been about our product release and demos and inspiration. But a shout out to the makers that contribute to that live. But I think the other side of it is like that makers is not like a cliquish term of a separate group. All of us in this industry are makers. You are a maker, Heidi. And so, let me just kind of go back and jump into, you were inspired by Tammy B to make that. And your very first words about your make was, it's not as good as. Right? Now, I'm not here to reprimand anyone, but what I'm here to do is to remind you that everyone has something to contribute to the creative industry. And everything that you make, you as the maker, is perfection. Because that's what it is, right? Making is supposed to bring us joy. It's supposed to bring us inspiration. It is good for the soul. And the comparativeness in our industry, I think, is the downfall of really wanting to be a maker. A maker is not this kind of pinnacle peak that you want to be like, oh, I want to be a maker. You are a maker. If you're making something, you are. And I love the fact that, right away, Heidi was shouting out to Tammy and really the rest of the makers. There's so much inspiration out there, from the maker team to the Tim Holtz Addicts group that Zoe Hillman runs. There's a lot of places that really have kind of cultivated a very wonderful community designed to inspire all of us. So that's really what I love about being part of STAMPtember and Simon, is just that this is about inspiration. And a shout out to all the card makers. Like, Heidi has the cards now. We sent them all to her from STAMPtember. I was absolutely blown away by how many card makers sent us cards for live, because it was optional. It was up to them if they wanted to send in cards for the live. And yeah, in the past, we've always had a wonderful assortment, but this year, man, it was unbelievable. So I'm truly grateful to all the people that continue to create and inspire. And I've seen people already getting their STAMPtember set, which is great. I can't wait to see what's created. But it's not just about me in STAMPtember. It's tons of wonderful collabs that, Simon, that you do with so many different companies and your own brand. So bravo.
Well, it takes a village with all of us. I'm glad that organic thing slipped from my mouth about is not as good as, because that whole process of making and creating really is the heart and the joy of what keeps us after this. So yes. I hope that for a long time to come, people continue to share what they're making, keep hashtagging. You don't have to be one of the design team members or makers to showcase what you're doing, because right. it brings us joy to share and brings us joy to actually do the making. So I'm glad you brought up that really important point about not comparing ourselves to other people. That's because right. It's easy to do that, even me as a 46-year-old woman, and you've told me that before, and I only took my pieces here that I was especially proud of that I made during class or something, but there's been so much more joy in making beyond that. And I think that's why stamps have always been affinity in my heart, because yeah. I don't necessarily find a lot of joy in drawing. I never practiced drawing. I never practiced. Yeah. My sister-in-law can draw really well. Stamps are that like shortcut for you, right? That we can use a stamp and work around the stamp. I don't have to draw the perfect umbrella or the man or sentiments in my own script. I can stamp it and create art all around it. So right. That's where, for me, stamping has been a lot of fun. I also appreciate that these stamps that we have for Tim Holtz, for STAMPtember, and for all of the Tim Holtz stamps, they're made not very far from Simon Says Stamp. Shout out to Stampers Anonymous, who's also in Ohio and right. makes all these beautiful products for us. I took notes, but I'm just so excited and
You
nervous
can just wing it. Yes, I mean, for me, I started in the industry from stamping, really. I mean, I always like to just be creative, but I didn't think that I was a creative person, right? And any of my backstory, and I won't go into the whole
funny to
backstory,
hear.
but I didn't plan on being a creative person. I wanted to be an accountant. That was my career goal in school. But when I bought my first rubber stamp, I bought it because I thought it was a cool looking piece of art. It was a wood mounted stamp that I had on the shelf. But that also kind of sparked my curiosity into taking classes and being inspired. And of course, this is, it's weird to say, but it's like it's before the internet, right? The early days are before all of that. And so you would go to stamp shows or find little stamp stores to get inspiration. And I think now our creative community is really all about inspiring one another. The click of a button, you can be educated and inspired by anything that piques your curiosity. And that's why I continue to say it is so important to share what you do at all levels, because everybody is going to start somewhere. Everyone is going to experiment with different things. And sometimes even the freshest eyes see products, stamps, inks used in ways that maybe you've been doing this for 10 years, that you're so used to doing it one way that you're not even looking in that direction. And so that is why I think it's always so amazing to see the inspiration that people do and contribute. And sharing to this industry is so important. And I think that's what is great about STAMPtember, that Simon, you, the team at Simon and Heidi, you continue to cultivate that whole community that you need to share. You do your challenges, you've got your blogs, you constantly put out inspiration into the industry and encourage all of us to do it. So I'm really grateful to be part of that.
Well, thank you. I really wanted to make sure that we were able to get on screen together, because we talked a lot about how important it is that we thank the people that have made this so remarkably magical. STAMPtember is just a smashing, exciting time, and it's because of the people involved. So many people were able to get their hands on the STAMPtember exclusive. We have inspiration on our blog. But if you didn't have that specific stamp set, or you're still waiting to get it, Tim's right. There's inspiration on our blog. There's inspiration on his blog. You go on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Tim has done a really wonderful job in the past. I think probably it's been well over a year and a half. Tim does regular lives right now. They're on Saturdays. He talks about products. He shows makers makes. He also has done a lot of on-screen inspiration, which on a Saturday is really fun to get into and get your craft supplies out on a weekend and have that fun. So thank you, Tim, because you get the rest of us making. And I want to thank everybody for their support. I'm tripping over my words. We should do this every week, and then we'll be really good at it in like 7 years. For their support during STAMPtember, because it was you going live on Monday that created all this excitement for all of us.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Is there anybody in the chat that we need to address for anything, Reed, before we?
The main question I'm seeing is people want a tutorial for the spools, and they want to know if they can get the supplies that Simon Says Stamp.
Oh, that's a great question. So Tammy B has a blog, Plays Well With Paper, and she did do a tutorial on the spools. I used Tim's velvet ribbon. I actually found the wooden spools. Hint, hint, Tim, if you ever need a new product idea. I found those wooden spools on Etsy. The other products, the vignette box and the hearts, I used Tim Holtz alcohol ink to color per Tammy's. That was her idea, so I want to make sure Tammy gets full credit. But everything besides the spools on that box is definitely a Tim Holtz product and available at Simon Says Stamp. Simon tries to be a one-stop shop for everything, Tim, because I know how it feels to see a project and you want to be able to get all the things you need for that project in one place. That's how Simon Says Stamp got started, was me having that desire. So that's it's been really fun chatting with you, Tim. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about while we're live?
No, I'm grateful just to be part, and thank you for inviting me to be part of this Friday chat. Have a wonderful week and the rest of STAMPtember, because it's not over yet. It's not over yet. You still have more STAMPtember coming.
That's exactly true. There's still more coming. Stay tuned for more. Thank you, Tim.
Cool.
We appreciate
Thanks,
your
everyone.
time today.
We'll
Hope
see
to do
you.
it again.
All right.
Have a great day.
Just, you know.
Okay. So there you have it. STAMPtember 2021. We're still going strong. I'm going to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors that we've worked with in this past week. First and foremost, I would like to thank Stampers Anonymous, who has been making stamps for generations, really. They started off making stamps for the banking industry way back before there was the internet. And they're a generational family-owned business. So thank you to Stampers Anonymous for keeping up with the demand for STAMPtember and for stamps and for getting something in all of our hands that we can create with, and for sponsoring STAMPtember. And Tim, thank you for illustrating and creating and making products come to life. Everything that you do for all of us. You believed in me before anybody else did, and I really do believe that if it weren't for Tim Holtz, I would not be right in front of you here doing this today. I'd probably still be a food broker, which is where I was when I started this business. I was a food broker. This week, we had some really great exclusives. I think what I'm going to do is, Rita, are you going to be able to switch cameras if I pull these products out of the shot? I'm going to move some of these things out of the way.
I'm changing now.
Okay, so you guys can see I've got my screen is going to show you close-ups.
While she's getting ready for that, I saw a question about the golden bone. The golden bone is a piece of paper, not the enamel pin. I see a few of you asking that question. Right there, that's what it will look like.
Yes, if you get this golden bone in your order, make sure you email us. There's instructions on the back, because you will receive products from Simon Says Stamp every release for an entire year. The golden bone is the grand prize at Simon Says Stamp. We actually, are we giving away 4 this year?
Giving away 5.
Wow, so we're giving away 5 golden bones this year. So if you get one of those, there's instructions on the back. All you have to do is place an order. Reed is randomly putting those golden bones into orders that are placed. So I have a list of our sponsors for STAMPtember right here. I'm going to go through some of the ones from this week that we featured. Clearly Besotted is a European company run by 2 sisters. We have lots of products available at Simon Says Stamp for Clearly Besotted. Their exclusive did sell out. Now, we've only been doing exclusives since 2015, but we've had STAMPtember since 2012. That's kind of a fun fact. And Clearly Besotted's, even though their exclusive is sold out, they have lots of products in our store available for you every day. Another company that was featured this week and sponsoring STAMPtember is Paper Rose. Paper Rose is an Australian-based company. And you can see here, they have embossing folders, beautiful products like this. Can you guys hear that in my microphone? The shaker mix, clear stamps. Look how adorable that clear stamp illustration is. And then in this past, I think it's probably only been about a year, Paper Rose has also introduced really nice 6x6 cardstock to their line. So we've got those at Simon Says Stamp too. Another brand who has sponsored STAMPtember this month is Picket Fence Studio. Here is a stencil. They have stencils, they have stamps. The thing I love about their sequins isn't just their assortments, but aren't these containers that they store their sequins in really cool? This is a great way for you to keep them in your craft room or in your drawer and not have them spill anywhere. I love these little containers. I'd like to collect those. And then they also have paper glitz. Look how nice that is. I believe they actually hand stir and make those glitzes themselves. And I've even got a second little pack of mix here. So thank you to Picket Fence Studio for sponsoring STAMPtember. Their collaboration is sold out, but that's okay. There's lots of other products here at Simon Says Stamp for you. Honeybee Stamps. Thank you, Honeybee, for sponsoring STAMPtember. One of my favorite newer products from Honeybee are their 6x6 paper pads. They always are really colorful. And every sheet is so different from the next. I feel like I get a really good value when I buy something like this and hoard it in my stash. They've got great dies, great stamps, honeybee stamps. Also, when we did our last Create, we had a make and take booth, and Create and Take is what we like to call it, and they did some beautiful Create and Takes at our last event. We have a special place in our heart for them. Now, I will say there is, so I got my little stamp set kind of on the top of the sleeve here. Our stamps are all made in the USA. Another sponsor for STAMPtember is Pretty Pink Posh. I'm going to pull this stamp set a little bit down so you can see it better. And this is the exclusive that was just revealed by Pretty Pink Posh. It's still available for you. As you guys know, if you've been watching STAMPtember every day, these exclusives are revealed at midnight every night, with the exception of Tim Holtz, because he went live at noon. We didn't want Tim to have to be up at midnight going live, so we did a noon reveal for Tim. This was revealed, Pretty Pink Posh Skiing Bear, just a few hours ago. So we still have supplies. And look at the beautiful inspiration that the artist sent in using this card, or using these stamps. This one is by Callie Person. Look how adorable that is. Callie probably has this on her blog today. I'm sorry, Callie, I didn't go to check to see if that's today's post or not. But if you want inspiration, more inspiration from Callie Person, her blog is callieperson.com. She also has a very active YouTube channel. I have another card here by Nicole Spohr using the new Pretty Pink Posh STAMPtember exclusive. So just a reminder, these are only available while supplies last for a limited time. It's part of the excitement. It's part of the party that we have these. So when these are gone, they're gone for good, but don't you worry, because there's lots of other products by these exciting brands too. For example, Pretty Pink Posh even has stencils in their line, and they've got other stamps. One of the other things that stampers in our industry have really loved, I like this assortment, especially for Halloween, are the little embellishments that Pretty Pink Posh has available for all of us. So that's Pretty Pink Posh is another brand that we've celebrated STAMPtember with. They sponsored us this month. So I think it's a good time. Reed, did you want me to show any sneak peeks of what's to come? Is that why you're giving me Reed's giving me the big eyeball?
People like the new stuff.
People like to see sneak peeks of what's to come.
Absolutely.
So just a reminder, all of our exclusives going forward are going to be revealed at midnight, and our blog, Simon Says Stamp blog, is the place to go for that. We have something coming up from Sugar Pea Designs this weekend. We've got something coming up from Concord and 9th this weekend. Did you see I showed a side view of that? And can anybody guess what brand this is for the weekend? So Riley & Co. also has an exclusive stamp set coming to you this weekend. Reed, do you want to go to the front camera since... Hey, it's good to see you guys again. Thank you for joining us live today. Hey Mom, I hope you're live with me too. She always talks to me after my lives and asks me, last week in our live I said, we've got a special surprise guest coming next Friday. And I knew that it was going to be Tim, but we hadn't worked out all the details and we kept it a secret at first. But my mom was the first person to text me and say, who's your surprise guest next weekend? So then last night she called me and said, so does anybody know it's Tim? How are you doing? And so it's really fun that my mom gets into this. My mom has always been a sewer. When I was a kid, she would sew my Barbie clothes, and even the clothes I would wear to school, my mom made most of my clothes when I was, I don't know if most, made a lot of clothes for me when I was young. And she also was a really avid gardener. So I was really lucky to grow up in a small town. My mom probably had over half of our yard she had turned into a garden, and we ate every day from her garden: corn, peas, tomatoes. It was so much fun. If any of you garden and grow carrots or potatoes, I think those were always my favorite because it was kind of digging them. it was like a treasure hunt. How big are those carrots going to be, and where are we going to find the next potato, kind of weaving your way through. So my mom isn't necessarily, I still have not converted her to be a complete crafter, but she knows very well that when the grandkids are with her and when I'm with her, we spend a lot of time crafting, and she spends a lot of time coloring with my daughter. So, and she's so supportive. So thank you, Mom, for always being there for me. I going off on a little bit of a tangent. She just had her birthday this week, so I think about her all the time. So on our live today, there's been a chat. Part of it was, I think it's been live the entire time we've been live, and Reed's been moderating for us. Reed, are there any questions or any things that you think we should go through before we sign off on this wonderful, wonderful Friday of STAMPtember?
Yeah, you got 3 questions.
Okay.
The first one is pertaining to Tim. Where does Tim go live?
So Tim goes live on YouTube. He'll be live tomorrow at noon Eastern time, and I'm pretty certain he's already announced he's going to be revealing his Ideology Christmas collection. Ideology is a fan favorite for all of us, and he'll showcase products and the makers makes while he's live tomorrow at noon. And you can find his schedule for his lives at timholtz.com. You can also see it on Mario Rossi's Instagram. He shows behind the scenes. Tim Holtz has Facebook for Tim Holtz fan group, where actually I believe the fan group is Tim Holtz Addicts. The lives are posted in there. The lives are posted on the Tim Holtz page on Facebook, and you can always find inspiration in those places. Tim talked a little bit in our live today about that group, Tim Holtz Addicts. If you're on Facebook, I highly recommend that group. That seems to be, I mean, there's no doubt, that's the paramount group for people who are sharing their Tim Holtz news and products. It's moderated by Zoe Hillman. It's actually not a Tim Holtz run group, it's a fan group. And Zoe Hillman moderates that and does a really nice job. I can't talk enough about it. The other thing about Tim Holtz is if you search hashtag Tim Holtz, you can find inspiration, and you should post your work and use the hashtag Tim Holtz. In our live, I talked a little bit about my own ribbon spool project that I made. You know, I've always suffered a lack of self-confidence, and I don't really showcase a lot of my work. But I think it's important that we do. It's not to be judged, it's more just to share, because then you hear feedback from other people, you get ideas from other people. It's really fun. When I made this, I remember showing my husband and being like, look what I made. And that's the enjoyment of making it and then also sharing it. So I do think it's important to kind of get outside of our comfort zone and share. I keep telling my daughter to put herself out there. At recess, she says sometimes she gets lonely at recess, and when she's discovered when she invites somebody to play, or when she shares thoughts, or what are you going to play soccer, or what did you think of the football game, she has found a lot more enjoyment when she shares personally. And I think it's true in our work. I know it's true in our art too. So share. If you don't have an Instagram account, it's free, it's easy. You can hashtag anything. You can hashtag Tim Holtz. You can hashtag STAMPtember. You can search other hashtags. You can make it private if you want. You can post your family business on there if you want. Or you can showcase your art, or you can have one Instagram for one and another for another like I do. You can do anything you want. Same with Facebook. Facebook is free. Post there, share there, join the communities there. Tim Holtz Addicts is a great community. I mean, it helps us be involved. Winter, at least here in the United States, winter is ahead of us. And I do find that a lot of virtual sharing keeps us going and growing and connected. Some of my best friends are people that live outside of the state of Ohio, but we share on our social media, and we share on Zoom, and we get to see each other and share ideas and recipes and all of that, because isn't that what life is all about? So all this started with Reed asking a question of when Tim goes live. Tim goes live most Saturdays, not all Saturdays. His schedule is posted in a lot of those different places. Reed, do you want me to move on to another question? Because I really could stand here and talk.
You're doing great. Yeah, let's move on to the next question. People are asking, when will the next Create event be, and will it be in Columbus?
So yes, it will be in Columbus, Ohio. We have the next Create planned for the last weekend of April here in Columbus, Ohio. We actually have a little side mark on our blog called Save the Date for Create, and it gives the exact dates. It will be held at the same location we've done it every year. It's the Nationwide Conference Center here in Columbus, but not the one that's downtown. It's the Nationwide Conference Center, which is north of the city near Polaris Mall. And if you look at Nationwide Conference Center, I don't know their website off the top of my head, but you'll find it. It's right up the street from Simon Says Stamp. That's why, one of the reasons why we do it there. It's a beautiful, charming, they have brick sidewalks. We've got more space than we've ever had before. The last time we hosted Create, we used their ballroom. This time we're using their ballroom ×2. So it's a twice as big space as we had last year. And that's where we're going to do the Create intakes. We also hope to be able to do classes. And we haven't announced the teachers for that yet, but we're toying with a few different experiments behind the scenes on how we can best bring classes to you and the people that attend Create. So we'll probably make that announcement this fall, but I don't have the date for the exact announcement yet. But I do have the date. So if you're planning, if you want to get a hotel room now and you want to stay on site at Nationwide Conference Center, make sure you let them know you're there for the Simon Says Stamp event, because we have rooms being held for people who are going for the Simon Says Stamp event. The hotel does sell out every year. So, I mean, that's kind of a tip. Since you're live with us today, you get that insider trading information that you know where we're going to be, when we're going to be there, and you can make sure you at least get a room on hold for yourself if you want to spend the night. In Columbus, Ohio, we're really centrally located.
A lot of people are asking, will the event be in person and virtual?
We're planning on it being in person right now, and we are working on the technology to do something virtual. So that's part of the reason why we haven't made the announcement for the teachers yet, because we're trying to get our technology working so that feel like we can do a really good job of offering that to you. So stay tuned. I can't believe we're already talking about April. I don't know if you guys are reading or seeing a lot of this in the news, but I'm seeing a lot of it, and I'm experiencing a lot of this with our manufacturers. If you have Christmas shopping to do this year, do it early. Even t-shirts are limited supplies for some of the sizes I was looking for. So make sure you get your Christmas shopping done early this year. I know I was thinking it's really far ahead to think about April when it feels really far ahead to even think about Christmas. See, I really could ramble for a really long time. Reed, is there anything else I should be talking about on this STAMPtember Live? Talk about Christmas shopping?
You're doing great. Don't worry about
Okay.
it. The final question is there any more kids going to be in STAMPtember?
Yes. I can't wait. Yes, we do have, we have the Halloween kit still available for you. We only have a few of those left. It actually might have sold out today, the Halloween kit. We have a creepy kit, which if you're really into like the creepy side of Halloween, that's still available. Our October kit of the month is still available. We're taking pre-orders, but not for much longer, on one of our Christmas kits, Oh Holy Night, or Holy Family, I'm sorry. And now, every year, probably for the last 5 years, we've done a STAMPtember exclusive kit, and it's the most popular and the most fun to put together every year. Stephanie and I work together really closely on the STAMPtember kit, and yes, that is to come. I can't tell you which day though, because we try to make every day a surprise for you guys. It's part of the fun. It seems like I love surprises, and it seems like people are really loving that. It's a new thing every day. Some days it's a kit, some days it's an exclusive, some day it's a reveal. One day, next week, we have an extra special surprise for you. I'm not gonna let the cat out of the bag. But the grand finale of STAMPtember this year will be extra exciting. Okay, Poor Reed. You're a great monitor. Thank you. And I believe that we also have moderating on YouTube and Facebook, Beth Opal and Nina Marie Trapani. So thank you, ladies, for moderating and hanging there with us today. We love STAMPtember. I love any excuse to create, any reason to get together with my friends and to see you guys. You can even create with your friend from across the country while you're on I could be FaceTime, although my friend Kathy Rakusin and I tend to do Zoom a lot more. When years past, we used to do FaceTime. So lots of ways to connect.
Before we get off, for next week, it will not be on Friday, the live.
That's a good point.
Thursday at noon.
So the grand finale for STAMPtember it will be on September 30th, the last day of STAMPtember. And the last day of STAMPtember this year is a Thursday. So the next live and the last live we have planned for STAMPtember will be noon Eastern Time on September 30th. Thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again soon. Please don't forget to make and create and feel the joy in all of this that we're doing. Have a wonderful Friday. Take care.